You think you're hot, Tampa? We've got Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Who have you got? Yanni flipping Gourde is who we've got with the overtime winner. Hello, welcome to another Bolts Analysis. I'm your host Chris, and it's true. The Tampa Bay Lightning won last night 2-1 in overtime against the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh. That's the good news. The bad news is we lost Nikita Kucherov and Anthony Cirelli to injury. Why? Hopefully not too long term, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be. Hopefully it'll be a day-to-day thing, just like Stamkos is. It's bad enough having Stamkos out. Stamkos and Kucherov, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Good win. This was definitely the toughest game that we've played against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Played them 3 times. Those are out of the way. We swept the Penguins. Didn't think I'd be saying that at the start of the, a couple of months in. Didn't look like that would be a thing. It's a thing. The fact that it went to overtime kind of shows you that this was easily the toughest of the 3. We beat them in regulation the previous 2 times, but not this time. They were dialed in for this one. And we'll kind of feel like maybe they should have won it with some of the chances they had. Good power play goal by them. Malkin, you can't leave him like that. If he gets a big old rebound like he did from the Crosby shot, he's going to bury it. And you can be Andrei Vasilevsky, you're not stopping his, the howitzers that he comes up with. Good player, Malkin. People talk about Crosby a lot, but Malkin, especially this year with Crosby being out, he's had to sort of like carry the team at various points, and he's done it well. But, yeah, seeing as the Penguins were able to get a power play goal, we looked at that and we thought, we'll get a power play goal. And it's been a while coming. As good as we've been recently, that power play has not looked good at all. There have been chances, and we've scored goals shortly after a power play has expired, but this was better though. And I like that Sergachev got it just because it was a similar finish to the opening goal that he got against the Penguins last week. So, yeah, if Sergachev can get sort of ripping that shot from the blue line, that will be very nice indeed. Yeah, we like that. We like that there's sort of, a bit of strength and depth, because I feel like we're going to need it for the next couple of weeks, maybe, depending on how the injuries pan out. Vasi undeniably kept us in the game. The injuries kind of meant that we sort of had to sort of, dig in a bit, especially when overtime got going. I thought the Penguins were going to finish us off. They had chances to, but for whatever reason, they didn't do it, and Hedman was sensible with how he was sort of, controlling the puck, controlling the flow of the overtime, got it over to the point, got it over to Gourde. What a good feeling that is. He hadn't scored in 35 games. That's nearly half the season. Overtime winner. And we are now on 79 points. And I know we're still second, but we are only 1 point behind Boston now. The race is on. Boston don't just want to beat Montreal tonight, they need to beat Montreal tonight, otherwise they'll only be 1 point ahead and we'll have another game in hand. Come on, Montreal. It's not often I say that, but come on, Montreal. In terms of the race, the rest of the Atlantic Division, 3rd and 4th teams, Toronto and Florida, both got wins. Which is good to see, because Florida's form has not been good, and Toronto's form has kind of been iffy. But Florida beat the New Jersey Devils 5-3, and Toronto beat the Arizona Coyotes 3-2 in overtime. Just about. Because Arizona did have an overtime goal, but it got overruled because of goalie interference. So, Leafs really... I like the fact that they can get these overtime winners, but maybe win in regulation, maybe close the game out. You're going to need to learn how to do that if you end up playing us in the playoffs, because relying on overtime, you do well in overtime, well, so do we. Yes, I mean, hopefully we can beat them without overtime, but if we need overtime, at the moment, as we've shown against both Columbus and Pittsburgh, we can get the job done. In terms of the race for the wildcard spots in the Eastern Conference, there was kind of not movement, but definitely sort of widening of certain gaps, because New York Islanders managed to beat the Philadelphia Flyers. That was a crucial victory for the Islanders. That secures them in third. Means that the Flyers are a little bit more sort of precarious in terms of their standing, but good result for the Flyers and for Florida and Toronto. Carolina lost quite badly to Dallas, 4-1 in favour of the Stars. Canes, you wait 10 years for a playoff appearance. I'm not saying it's going to be another 10 years, but it might not be this year that you make the playoffs. I feel like the loss of Dougie Hamilton in defence has kind of not completely crippled Carolina, but it's definitely weakened them. And that, along with the fact that Mrazek doesn't quite seem his formidable self, not the greatest time to be a Canes fan. Might be that they miss out this time. It's not necessarily that they're a bad side. I think they're still better than they've been in previous years, but it's a really competitive Metropolitan Division, and at least 3 teams have to miss out, and I feel like Carolina might be one of the 3. Moving over to the West briefly, because we are taking a bit more of an interest in the West, because we've got the Edmonton Oilers next, and the Edmonton Oilers are looking pretty strong. I know they've lost Connor McDavid for a couple of weeks with injury, but there's this other guy, might have heard of him, Leon Draisaitl. He had a pretty good game against the Chicago Blackhawks, got a goal and a few assists. 5-3 win for the Oilers. They're now looking quite safe in second. Look like they'll make the playoffs after a couple of years away. And other strange result, I didn't see this one coming. In fact, there were 2 strange results in the West. Winnipeg losing 4-1 at home to the New York Rangers, which means because of Arizona's overtime point, they go out of the wildcard spots. Arizona are back in. And Vegas managed to lose so badly to Minnesota, 4-0, that they've actually dropped out of the top 3 of the Pacific and into the wildcards. So quite a lot of movement, especially as Calgary, despite not playing, have gone up to 3rd, and we have a potential battle of Alberta in the playoffs back on again. It needs to happen. I want to see Edmonton versus Calgary. 4 games at least. 4 more games of Edmonton-Calgary. It would be amazing. There might even be another goalie fight. Although I'm not sure it'll top the madness that was the last game at Calgary. That was bonkers. So yeah, that's pretty much it overall. There's only a few games on tonight. The Boston-Montreal game, I guess, is the one that affects us the most. Might keep an ear out for that. The other 2 games kick off very late, so I doubt I'll be following. I think it's Calgary against Los Angeles, and I want to say it's Vancouver-Chicago. Yeah, it's Vancouver-Chicago. Chance for the Canucks to increase their lead at the top of the Pacific, and chance for Calgary to secure, solidify their grip on 3rd against the Kings, who you're not as bad as the Red Wings, Los Angeles, but it's almost time to cry uncle, isn't it? This is not. This is a season of pain. Maybe just go back and watch those 2014 and 2012 Stanley Cup finals. That'll make you feel better. But for now, this is it from me. There's been another Bolts analysis. And remember, I forget.